Hello students, how are you all? I hope everyone is doing very fine. So in the last class we have completed our chapter number 3, that was the recording of transaction part 1. Now we are going to start the next chapter, that is your recording of transaction part 2. Now see, in the recording of transaction part 1, what are the things that we did? There were accounting equation, then we did journal entries, then we did ledger, then after ledger account we posted it to the trial balance. These were in the part 1. Now let us see what are the things that are in the part 2. In the part 2 they are known as special purpose books. So what are the special purpose books? Let us see, journal and ledger, they are all mixed up, right? All the things, credit, cash, debtors, creditors, all these things, purchase return, sales return, all those things are termed under one account, right? But in recording of transaction part 2 in the special purpose book, all those things are categorized, okay? So we are going to prepare each and every different book. So first we will start with the cash book. Now there are many things, that is cash book. Under special purpose book there are purchase book, that is for recording credit purchase, sales book for recording credit sales, then your journal proper, all those things we have. But today we are going to start with the cash book, okay? So before that, let's introduce the chapter. A small business may be able to record all its transaction in one book only. If it is a small business, let's say a small kirana store or the store that you have in nearby your house, where you purchase your pencil, erasers, small things for daily use. Those shops, they don't need such special purpose books and all, because there they have only record of purchase and sell, and whether there is someone you need to pay back, and whether there is someone from whom you have to receive money. All these things only, nothing else that requires, right? Because it is a small shop, there is no requirement of such things. So a small business may be able to record all its transaction in one book only, that is the journal. So in the journal only they can record it. But as the business expands, as it grows and the number of transactions becomes large, in a small kirana store the transactions are small, right? Each and every household they buys small things from those store, and the kirana store sells them. So these are the small transactions. But in a big business house, when the business house expands, at that time what it happens, it becomes very cumbersome, or it becomes very difficult to journalize each and every entry. Like in a big business house there are thousands and thousands of entries taking place in per day, because let's say each business house has many branches. So each and every branch might be having 200 transactions per day. So if you total it, how many transactions are there? So it's not possible to journalize all them, and also if it is possible, then it consumes lots of time. So for quick, efficient and accurate recording of business transaction, journal is subdivided into special journals. Now if you keep on checking the books of journal and transactions, you keep on checking the transactions, and what did we sell on that day, at how much price did we sell, how many items were sold on that day. If we keep on searching the journal for such crucial information, such small minute detail information, it will take much time, right? So for that purpose, for making it more efficient, we divide the journal into subcategories, okay? Many of the business transactions are repetitive in nature. Many business repetitive means repeats, right? That means what are those transactions? Let's say a stationery, he is repeatedly selling the notebooks, right? He is repeatedly selling the pencils. So why don't we we record such transactions of selling the notebooks in one column only, rather than journalizing it in one by one, right? It will save time. So, they can be easily recorded in special journals, each meant for recording of the transaction of a similar nature. Okay, of similar nature, we can record it under one book. So, for example, all cash transactions may be recorded in one book, right? All credit sales transaction in another book, all credit purchase transaction in another book, right, and so on. So, these special journals are also called day books. They are known as day books, or they can be called as subsidiary books. So, transactions that cannot be recorded in any special journal are recorded in journal. So, those transactions that can't be recorded in any other special books are recorded in a journal, and they are known as journal proper. Okay. So, special journals prove economical and make division of labor possible in accounting work. So, division of labor means all the works are divided among different groups of people. So, in this way, rather than giving whole work to one person, if we divide it, then it will take much less time, right? And the burden will be also less, so he can think more wisely. So, in this chapter, we will discuss the following special purpose books. What are those? Cash book, purchase book, this is for your credit purchase, then purchase return, that is your return outward book, whatever purchase you are returning. Sales book, sales return book, that journal proper. These 6 books are falls under this subsidiary books, which we are going to learn in the this 4th chapter. Let's start with the cash book. What do you mean by cash book? Cash book is a book in which all transactions, all the business transactions relating to cash receipts and cash payments are recorded. Okay. So, all the transactions relating to the cash receipts and cash payments are recorded. It starts with the cash or bank balance at the beginning of the period. So, it starts with the cash balance or the bank balance, that is your balance BD. Okay. So, generally it is made on monthly basis. So, cash book is prepared on monthly basis. This is a very popular book and maintained by all organizations, big or small, profit or not for profit. So, each and every organization prepare cash book. Why? Because cash is involved in every business. Without cash, it can't be, the business can't run. So, it serves the purpose of both journal as well as the ledger account. So, it serves both journal and ledger. It is also called the books of original entry, because in this these are all in the cash book. It can be recorded directly from the vouchers or your source documents like the journal. So, and why is it similar to journal? Because we can record it in the cash book directly from the source documents. Rather than looking at the journal, we can directly record it in the cash book. Same if it is, why it is known similar to ledger? Because it is a T-shape account. It has a debit side and a credit side. Okay. When a cash book is maintained, transactions of cash are not recorded in the journal. So, if a cash book is maintained, then transactions relating to cash are not recorded in journal, because we have already recorded in cash book. There is no required to record it in the journal, and no separate account for cash or bank is required in the ledger. And in the ledger also, when you prepare the cash account, so that cash account is not required. So, the cash book is prepared on monthly basis. Okay. So, this is a very popular book and is maintained by all the organization. So, if a cash book is maintained, then the transactions are not recorded in journal because it saves time, and also the cash or bank account that we prepare in the ledger account is not prepared. Okay. So, what are the importance of cash book? Let's see. So, cash book is the most important subsidiary books because it keeps the record of transactions of the business. It keeps the records of cash transactions in the business. It is very important, that's why. Okay. So, what are the importance? Let's see. Helpful in cash management. So if we have the recorded data in a tabular format, and you can see, and you can just determine what are the expenses, what are the payments you have done, and what are the receipts you are receiving. So you can just if you see that there are many expenses that doesn't require, so at that time what do? You can cut off that expense, right? So it helps in the cash management. And also, if let's say you are to make payment, and that is very important to make at that time, but let's say your cash balance is less. By seeing the cash book, you can see that your cash balance is very less. So you can immediately you can arrange for some cash at that moment. So it helps in the cash management. Cash book is maintained by every business. Okay, it is maintained by every business, whether big or small in size. It is simply because every business must be cautious about its cash management. So it is very important for the business to run, and for the business to know how to manage the cash. That is your cash receipts and cash payments. Okay, because these are the immediate thing. Okay, so the business must know the amount of cash that has been collected, or payments that have been made daily, weekly or monthly, and also the periodic balance of cash in hand. So every period, what are the cash in hand, what amount of cash in hand are you having, so that effective steps for utilizing of cash balance can be taken. So if you have more cash, like if you have more than enough cash, then at that time the extra cash can be utilized to make it utilized for better future investments, right? So it helps in the cash management if you prepare the cash book. Next, helps in ascertaining the true cash position. Now, how much exact amount of cash you are having in your hand, that is your business is having at that point of time, at a point of time, that you can determine by seeing the cash book. It is very helpful in ascertaining the true cash position, that is the actual cash position of your business. The cash book gives the true position of cash transactions. At any time, the balance of cash as shown by the cash book must agree with the physical balance of cash in hand in the cash book. So at that time, you can see if you can count how much amount you have in your counter, and you can check in your cash book if both the items are matching or not. If it matches, then there is no fraudulent activities. If it doesn't matches, that means there is something wrong, right? Next, helps in preventing embezzlement. That is your manipulation. It helps in preventing the manipulation. Anyone cannot manipulate by saying that I have sold that much of this, I have sold this much things only, and I am having such this amount in let's say the manager or the cashier might be saying that I have sold this much only, so I have received this much cash today. But if you check the cash book, you can see, you can check. So it helps in the preventing the manipulation. Unless cash book is maintained, the business will be in the dark about the daily cash position. The business will be in the dark means business will not be able to know its daily position of cash, and this may increase the chance of committing fraud by the concerned staff. So if there is no record for whatever cash balance your business is having on a daily basis, then the concerned staff will be thinking that there is no record for such cash, then we can take out some money for, let's go have a lunch for us, let's have a lunch with this money, let's go buy something, right? That can be done by any staff. Next, serves as a documentary evidence for cash balance. So whatever amount of cash balance you are having, you can if there is a legal action taken against your business that you have done something fraud or something else, if there is an income tax issue or any tax issue, then at that time you can directly show your cash book that yes, this much I have spent, this much I have sold, this much I have purchased, and that's why I am having this much amount of balance in my hand. So this is very easy to show. This is very easy to show it as a evidence, right? So cash book serves as a documentary evidence for the available cash balance, because the actual cash balance is compared by the cash balance as shown by cash book daily. Discrepancies, if any, are identified and rectified. So if there is any discrepancies, then they are identified and they are rectified immediately. That means they are like if there is any fraud, or if there is any fraud going on, or if there is like some miss transactions, so all those things can be immediately settled. Okay. So these were the importance of cash book. What are those? Let's repeat. Helpful in cash management, point number 1. Next is helpful in ascertaining the true cash position. Third is helpful in preventing embezzlement or your manipulation. Serves as a documentary evidence for cash balance. These are the 4 points for importance of cash book. Next, let's see what are the features or characteristics of cash book. Okay. First is primary and subsidiary book. It acts as both primary and subsidiary books. Why primary? Primary means it can be recorded directly from the source documents. Okay. It doesn't require any journal to be recorded. Okay. And subsidiary books, because it is specially recorded for the cash transaction only. So cash book is a subsidiary book of account and a day book. It is also a first book of entry of all cash transactions. Okay. Next point is recording of cash transaction only. So in this cash book, only the cash transactions are recorded. No credit transaction, no other transaction without the involvement of cash are recorded in this cash book. All the cash transactions involving receipt and payments of cash during the period are recorded in this book. No non-cash transaction find place in cash book. Okay. Next we have substitute of cash account. So it is a substitute of cash account. If we maintain the cash book, then there is no requirement to prepare a cash account under the ledger account. Right? As a matter of fact, it is a substitute for cash account in the ledger, because where cash book is maintained, no cash account is opened in the ledger. Next we have dual purpose. It serves the function of both a journal and a ledger. So it is a dual purpose account. It also acts as a journal and also acts as a ledger. Next, recording in chronological order. So all the transactions are recorded in a date-wise, in a chronological date-wise order. Okay. So let's say from 1st April to 31st, you are going to record it in the chronological. First, after that, if there is no transaction in second, then you record for the third. Like that. Okay. So according to the date of occurrence, when did the transaction took place, according to those dates you are going to record it. Next, no credit balance. In cash, no credit balance. Okay. The cash book, cash column records only cash transaction, and therefore it shows no credit balance. In the credit balance there will be no. That means no negative balance. Right. If you have 10,000 and you are paying 11,000, is it true? Is it correct? No, na? If you have 10,000, you can't pay 11,000 to anyone, because it is impossible if we think like that logically, right? Yes, you can say you can borrow from 1,000 from a friend and you can pay 11,000. That is another thing. But if we are saying about cash book, then if in the debit side it is 10,000 and in the credit side you are saying that 11,000 is there, then no, it is not possible, right? So no credit balance. So what are the features? First is primary and subsidiary books, that means both journal and ledger. Recording of cash transaction only, no credit. Then substitute of the cash account, you don't need to prepare cash account if you are preparing cash book. Then dual purpose, because it serves as both the ledger and journal. Next, it is recorded in chronological order. It is very easy to find the information. Next, we have no credit balance. It has no negative balance. These are the important features of cash book. Now, what are the advantages of cash book? What are the advantages you get from preparing cash book? Ascertainment of daily cash transaction. If you prepare the cash book, you can see all the daily cash transactions taking place in your business. Since all cash transactions are recorded recorded in cash book, it is easy to ascertain the cash receipt and cash payment on daily basis. How much received and how much paid. This can be easily ascertained. Ascertainment of cash balance, then you can ascertain the cash balance, how much cash balance you are having in your hand. It is very easily determined by looking at the cash book. So cash balance can be known at any time by ascertaining the balance of the cash book. At that point of time, there is no need of calculating extra cash in the box. Okay. Guard against defalcation, that is, the balance of cash is shown by the cash book can be verified with physical balance of cash. If there is no defaulting in this. Okay, there is no fraudulent activities. No one can do fraudulent activities if you are maintaining the cash book. So it is a guard against all those defalcation. So you can directly check with the physical balance of cash and the book balance of cash. So this process of verification acts as a guard against defalcation of cash. Rectification of error. If there is any mistake or error, it can be detected at the time of verification of cash book. If the physical balance of cash and the book balance of cash doesn't match, that means there is either there is any defaulting or there is any missed transaction or mistake. So if there is a difference between the actual cash in the cash box and the balance as per cash book, it means there is some error. Okay. So these are the advantages of cash book. Now, what are the distinction between cash book and a cash account? Let's see. First, nature. Cash book is a subsidiary book, okay, meant for recording receipts and payments of cash. And cash account is an account appearing in the ledger. Cash book is a totally different subsidiary book, and cash account is under a ledger. Okay, it is one of those accounts prepared under the ledger. Next purpose, cash book serves the purpose of both journal and ledger at the same time. So it acts as both journal and ledger at the same time. But cash account serves the purpose of ledger account only because we are preparing under the ledger itself. Okay. Next, folio. Under cash book, ledger folio is recorded. Okay. From which ledger account we are taking those transactions, and under cash account, journal folio is recorded because we are recording from the journal. You are taking those entries from the journal. Nature of entries, it is a book of both primary and final entries, because primary means it can be recorded directly from the source document, and final because after preparing this, no ledger account needs to be prepared for the cash balance. But in cash account, it is an account of final entry. It can be recorded directly from the source document. So these are the few points of difference between your cash book and cash account. Okay. So is cash book a journal or a ledger? So you might be very confused whether cash book can be termed as journal or a ledger. So sometimes a question arises whether cash book is a journal or a ledger. It is a journal. Why? Because the transactions are recorded in it for the first time from the source documents, right? You can record the transaction directly from the source documents in a first time. Later on, these are posted to the respective accounts in the ledger. So from this cash book, you can post it into the ledger. The cash book is also a ledger in that sense that it serves the purpose of a cash account also. So all the items appearing in the cash account, you can directly see in the cash book. So it is also a ledger. When a cash book is prepared, no separate cash account is opened in the ledger, and as such the cash book is a journal as well as a ledger, and hence it may be called journalized ledger. So because of its both features, it can be termed as journalized ledger. Okay. Let's see similarities of cash book and journal. So what are the similarities? Just like a journal, first similarity is transactions are firstly primarily recorded from the source document. So transactions in the cash book are recorded for the first time from the source documents. Whatever receipts, whatever vouchers you have, you can directly record those transactions from those receipts or vouchers to the cash book directly. No need of preparing journal. Just like a journal, transactions in the cash book are recorded date wise. So in the journal also all the transactions are recorded in date wise. Similarly in cash book also it is recorded in date wise. Just like a journal, transactions from cash book are also posted to the relevant account except cash account in the ledger. So, like journal, when we prepare journal, we can post it to the ledger account from the journal. Similarly, when we prepare cash book, we can post it to the ledger account from the cash book also. Just like a journal, a cash book also contains a ledger folio column. So, in the journal, it has a ledger folio column LF, right? So, in the cash book also, you have a ledger folio column. For next, we have similarities of cash book with the ledger. What are the similarities? First is form of cash book closely resemble to a ledger account. The format of cash book is similar to the format of ledger account. That is, it has a date, particulars amount, and LF you have. Okay, and in ledger you have JF, that is journal folio. Cash book itself serves as a cash account. Also, and as such, when a cash book is maintained, cash account is not open in the ledger. That's why it is very similar to the ledger. The cash book is therefore is a part of ledger also. It can be told as a part of ledger. Next, just like a ledger account, the words to and by are used in a cash book also. So, like ledger, you write now. In the debit side, you write to balance BD. In the credit side, you write by balance BD. Right? You add this word to and by. Similarly, in a cash book also, you have to. You can't write directly the name of the expense or payments or receipt. You have to write to or by. If it is a debit side, you have to write to, and if it is a credit side, you have to write by. It is balanced just like a ledger account. So, ledger account, the balancing are done right. When whichever side is low has lower balance, then you have this balance CD on that side. Similarly, in cash book also you have a balance CD. You can balance it. You have to balance it. So these are the similarities between cash book and ledger. Okay. So you can say now cash book is also similar to a journal and also to a ledger. So these are the important points of cash book. So what are the format of cash book? I will show it you in the next class. It is similar to this. Now cash book are also of different types. In one cash book there is only cash balance both the sides. In another cash book you have cash and bank balance. For bank it is different column, for cash it is different column. And for there may be discount column also. So for that also cash bank discount. So this is similar to ledger account. This is amount and this side also amount. Particulars, date, ledger folio. Ledger folio, particulars, date. Date particulars, ledger folio amount, date particulars, ledger folio amount. Okay. So this is your cash amount. But if it is a double column, then it will be cash. There will be cash. Another column will be maintained. It will be bank column. Okay. Similarly, this side also you will have a bank column. Okay. So with this, we will end our class today here. And in the next class, we are going to discuss about the different types of cash book, and we will start with the simple cash book or the single column cash book. That is with only cash column on the cash book. Okay. So till then, take care. I hope you have liked our class.